I'm here tonight to give Anna some words of advice from an older woman. And in doing so, I called my daughter today. Tell me a couple things that you think I've done that are wise and have helped you. And she didn't hesitate. She was right there and she said, well, Mom, the first thing is your resilience. Being able to pick myself up through various situations and keep on going.
I think if I were to give advice on how to move forward once you leave college, one of the first things would be to really try and live for the now.
Around senior year, some people were ready to leave school and some people were so sad to leave, and some people started jobs and they were, waitressing, or they were working their dream job, or they were living with their parents or living on their own for the first time. And it's your journey, and enjoy it and just love where you're at. So good luck.
Thank you. But important things to remember are finding your center, understanding who you are at your core, and what the most important thing is to you.
There's just going to be all these life situations that pop up, and I think just being able to know that every time you overcome something like that, it gives you those brave muscles, and that you can do the next hard thing that comes along. I can think of one little story when my daughter was 2 years old and she went to go sit on Santa Claus's lap. She just was sitting there and I thought, oh, I hope, and she just goes, I'm being brave, Mommy. I was like, yes. Like that's all you want. So, your problems will get bigger than being afraid of Santa Claus, but just know that you can do that, and we can do hard things.
Mistakes are what make us who we are eventually going to be, and they help define new paths. So don't be afraid to make them. And if somebody ever tells you you're not awesome, look them straight in the eye and tell them, no, I am awesome. And just reaffirm that every single day.
First assignment I had was the police beat. And that meant that every day I had to get up at the crack of dawn and go to the police department and the sheriff's department and pick up the police blotter.
I was 23 and these good old boy sheriffs and police officers looked at me and were like, why do I have to talk to this girl, and who is she? And so I was kind of discouraged at first and felt like unprepared and defensive.
And there was another reporter on staff who was about 10 years older than me, and she totally took me under her wing and showed me the ropes and really was supportive and believed in me and encouraged me, and something clicked and I decided to really own the job.
I would show these police officers that I wasn't just some little girl that didn't know what she was doing. And so it actually worked, and over time they really started to, I felt like I had started to earn their respect.
They started calling me up with tips and leads on big stories, and so it ended up being a really great experience. And I feel like when I think about that year, there's 3 things that I really learned that are like life lessons I cherish now.
The first is you have to be passionate about what you're doing.
And it'll overcome the insecurities and the feelings of I'm not good enough because you love what you're doing.
The second is be committed to what you're doing. Be the person that people know are going to get the job done.
And number 3 is find your cheerleader.
You need someone that supports you, encourages you, who believes in you, and that can make all the difference. So find yourself your cheerleader, and good luck with everything you do.
So I've done this recently. We recently sent our 26-year-old to Nepal, and I gave her one of those bracelets, and I'm wearing mine. And I felt that it was important for her to know that with confidence and knowing that she can deal with any situation that comes up, and all she needed to do was look down at her wrist and remember that. That has really helped her through this first year.
Dear Anna, may you always follow your heart with courage and conviction. It's all within you, Nikki. Oh, thank you.
Someone, one of my peers who's about 10 years older than me, he's a man, he actually said to me, he said, you can't have made the sacrifices you made in choices between work and personal life without being ambitious. So don't be afraid to have a goal, have a dream, set that, even if you don't really know what the goal is going to be. Push forward and don't tell yourself you can't do it. Don't let others, even if they're not actually saying it, don't make yourself feel that you can't accomplish something.
My favorite quote, which my daughter reminded me of today, if you really want something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. And a lot of times you see that, and I'm tearing up. But I think there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I've been shocked not knowing where that opportunity presents itself, but being open to it and being receptive to it. So take advantage of it and take that leap of faith.
We often hear the expression, you can't have it all. But I believe you can have it all, you just can't have it at the same time.
Amen.
And so I don't know if I've ever shared the story of how I did that. So I was working full-time, actually with Lori. I had 2 children. I was involved in lots and lots of activities, and I had gone to pick up the kids from their grandparents, who was their daycare provider, and we were going through McDonald's to get dinner and heading to the soccer field because that's what we do right after, work. And my younger son Kevin was sitting in the front seat. Craig was in the back, and they were elementary school. So Kevin would have been about 5th grade, I think. Craig would have been 7th grade. And Kevin looks over at me. He says, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure, what?" And he said, "Why don't you ever smile anymore?" And that broke my heart. And he said, "Are you mad at Craig and me?" And I said, "No, honey, I'm not mad." But what I was doing was trying to figure out how, after soccer practice, I was going to make sure they got their homework done. I was going to, get the things done I had to get done, to get ready for work, and on and on and on and on. And that was a pivotal moment for me. And it was very special that my son saw it, that he saw that I was unhappy, and I didn't even know at the time I was unhappy because I thought that's what moms did. They worked, they did all of the crazy running, and that's just the way my life was going to be. And so after my year sabbatical, and I said to Dan, I'm starting a business. I didn't know anyone who had started a business. I didn't know anyone who had a business like what I was thinking I was going to do. I just was feeling this excitement, and he laughed and he said, "Doing what?" And I said, "I don't know. I guess it's like motivational speaking. I don't really know." And the whole point was I started a business not really knowing, and it was okay because not having expectations of what it was going to look like, I was open to everything. And that was 19 years ago. And, it's changed a lot. And there were times when I didn't take much work at all because I didn't want to miss the things that were going on with the kids. And then there were times when I worked a lot, and sometimes I had 3 jobs a day, which is a lot in the speaking industry because that was when I had to work. So over the years, I've learned that sometimes I'm really focused on the parenting piece, and then the job piece sort of took a little, back seat. And then other times I throw myself completely into work, and by that time the boys are, they're kind of doing okay, and they were proud of me. And so I see that in you. I wonder, with 9 kids, you're not going to have a traditional job. I just know in my heart you are not going to have a job where you clock in at 9 o'clock and you work late and then go home to your 9 kids. I see you as having that creative spirit where you are going to create a job and a career and a life to fit your family and to fit you and to fit all the things that you want to do. And so you will have it all, but it won't be at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I'm just excited to be part of that. Thank you.
Julie is definitely one of the major important parts of my life, and as I said earlier, she's stuck with me for life, and she'll probably have to babysit some of my kids. But I'm hoping hoping after this evening that we will all connect and stay in each other's life, because as I said earlier, there's a lot of negative stuff happening out in the world, and how I managed to, you know, move across the country and stay happy here and find this like beautiful environment and community to be my home, like a new home, is because I had people who believed in me, people that were not naysayers, people that came to me and said, yes, you can do it and let me help you out, and people that saw something in me. So if I can be of any help to anyone, let me know. But I want to connect with all of you, and I want to stay in touch, and because I think this is a beautiful beginning of a beautiful women tribe that we all need in life. Women that will build each other up and not destroy each other. And I thank you so much, and I thank you also on behalf of my family, because having a support in a different culture, in a different community, is absolutely necessary for me to go through challenges, especially when you're first year out of college. I know there'll be plenty of challenges, so you will be getting my Facebook messages or phone calls. What do I do now? So thank you once again, and special thanks to Julie for the most amazing graduation gift. Don't worry, as soon as you're done, as soon as he's done, you're getting hugs, okay? Don't worry, do not forget about that piece.